In this lead guitar lesson video, I'll teach you an awesome guitar technique I call super slides. No, I'm not talking about using one of these. I'm talking about sliding with your left hand finger, but not just any simple slide. I'm talking about a super slide. That's my term I use to describe sliding at least an octave or more on the neck. And they sound awesome, particularly when you slide fast. And today, I'm going to share this awesome technique with you. Here's what you're going to learn. First, I'll play for you and demonstrate the amazing sound of super slides. Second, I'll teach you how to make these slides easy to play and how to slide accurately across very large distances on the guitar. And third, I'll give you 5 great exercises and licks to play and practice on your guitar using this technique. Then I'll teach you how to use super slides in almost any lick, style, or song. Let's take a listen to the first example. All right, so what we've got going on here is a simple A minor pentatonic phrase in the first measure. Then in the next measure, we've got our second little phrase. And then we have our super slide going from D to the octave D. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is go back and rewind what you just saw. Don't look at my hands. Look at my eyes. That is the key to making these super slides accurate. It's not about what your hands do. It's about what your eyeballs are looking at. That is the key, okay? That is the key. So here's why I'm saying this. If I go and play phrase 2 again, and I'm looking only at my left hand, and now I've got to slide an octave, I'm probably not going to do it correctly because I don't know visually where the 19th fret is. I can kind of feel where it's at. I have a sense of where it is. And I might nail it, but I wouldn't go on stage and try and play that, okay, without looking. So as I'm playing the second phrase, I'm already staring at the 19th fret. I'm already looking right here, okay? I'm not following my finger as it's sliding up and watching it go to the 19th fret. No, I'm keeping my eye on that fret, and then I slide here. See, once you're in position, you don't need to watch this hand at all anymore. I mean, you might watch it to get it into position, right? So here you're at, you know, this little position here. But you've got to be looking here in advance before you're anywhere near ready to slide. And then you do the slide. And the chance of you doing it correctly and accurately is much, much, much higher. So that's a big little secret here in how players do these super slides and do them accurately and reliably. And then after we've got our super slide, just adding vibrato here, and then I'm just going up and playing the 20th fret of the second string, bend the string up, nice vibrato, and then you can just slide off. So that's example 1. Now let's take a look at example number 2. Okay, so now let's break this down and talk about how to do this well. So just like I mentioned in the first example, the key here is your eyes, where you're looking and when you're looking where you're looking. So in the first measure, we've got this A note here. And then you slide up to the 14th fret. Now you may have noticed I was not sliding with the same finger that I was playing the note on. So if I play with my first finger, I didn't slide with my first finger. Sometimes I slide with the middle finger, sometimes I slide with the third finger. And if you're wondering, well, how is that really a slide if Doesn't a slide have to be the same finger? How can you play a note with this finger and then slide with some other finger? Well, you can. You just simply put your finger down there and you do the slide. It's not really a big deal. Okay, as my hand's moving up, in this case, my middle finger is just joining the first finger. Same thing if I did it with the ring finger or whatever else, okay? And again, the key is where you're looking. So once you're in position here, you don't need to look anymore at this hand or at the second fret. Instead, you should be looking at the 14th fret. Now, the next phrase, of course, begins back down here at the second fret. So before you're done doing this, you already need to be looking at the second fret in advance, okay? Again, don't follow your hand. Don't have your eyes follow your fingers up and down the guitar. You'll make all kinds of mistakes. It'll be really hard to do this accurately. You have to be looking one step ahead. You have to be looking earlier. So you're here, and now you're already, once you're in position and the vibrato starts, you can already start looking at the second fret, okay? And once you get here, you can already be looking at the 17th fret because that's where we're going to next. So this is, of course, more than an octave. It's a bigger slide. And then once we get here, you have to know where the second fret is again from here. Same thing. And then you look at the 21st fret and you do that slide, etc. Okay, so again, the eyes are the key. Now let's take a look at example number 3. So in this case, what we have here is two phrases. They're exactly the same. We have a super slide at the end of the first phrase going from this A note to the octave A. Then we repeat the phrase. It's exactly the same, except when we get to the end of the first part, instead of sliding to an octave higher, 14th fret of the 3rd string, we're actually going to slide 2 octaves higher. So this is a massive increase in pitch. So from here, I'm playing the next to the last note now. And then we're going to slide on the high E string from no fret in particular. And then we're going up to the 17th fret, the high A, an octave higher than this one. And you can do vibrato with the left hand finger, or you can, do it with the bridge or whatever you want to do. But that's a really cool sound, especially to do in like a call and response type phrase where the phrases are essentially the same, but the end of the second phrase is different than the end of the first phrase. In this case, it's the same pitch, but it's an octave higher than where we ended, and it sounds really cool. All right, example 4 is really just an exercise. It's not a lick of any kind, but it's a really great exercise to work on. So what I suggest to do here is get out a metronome, and you can have it click at a medium tempo or slow tempo. And we're just going to play in the first measure a half note. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, etc. Okay, so that's the first exercise here to do pure exercise. Just measure 1. Get comfortable with just that first measure, doing the slides in half notes. Now, real quick. Sometimes when I teach this to students, what they'll do is they'll think, oh, well, since I've got so much time between the first note and the second note, I can take my time with the slide, and they'll do something like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. That's not good, okay? That's not what we're looking to do here. So we're going to hold the note out, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 1, fast. So these slides are quick, okay? That's the key. All right? So you're letting the notes ring out, but once it's time to do the slide, it's like lightning. You get your hand up there and you do it, and then you hold the note, and then you slide back down real fast. And we're just working on becoming accurate while sliding huge distances. That's the point of what we're doing here in example 4. Now let's take a look at the second measure in example 4. Same idea, we're just now doing it in quarter notes, so now we have less time to make the change. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. That's what's happening here. All right, so now for the third measure in example 4. Again, you've got our metronome here, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And every time that the metronome clicks, you want to be here on the 2nd fret, okay? So this would be like, I'll go really slow. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and etc. Now when you speed it up a little bit, it'll be like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, etc. Let's change keys and take a look at example number 5. So here we've just got a little scale fragment from a G major scale. We end up on C, and instead of doing our big slide, our super slide, to the octave C, we're going to go up an octave and a fifth. So we're going to go way up high to the 24th fret of the 3rd string. Now in the tablature, it shows to use your middle finger for the slide, and you can do that. You can end up here and then slide with your middle finger if you like. I prefer actually to do it with my 4th finger and then just slide to the 24th fret and then fist the bridge here for the vibrato. And that sounds really cool. You could do the vibrato with your left hand. There's not a lot of room up here, but it's possible. If you like that sound or prefer to do the technique that way, then go right ahead and do that. Now let's talk about how to practice this stuff. Okay, as I said many times, your eyes are the key to being able to do these super slides accurately and quickly and reliably. Okay? That's the first thing. So always be looking in advance of where you want to go. Just stare at that fret, and then the chance of you getting there and nailing it go way up. If you don't do that, the chance of doing it reliably go way down. Okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is it's okay to slide with another finger. You don't always have to slide with the finger that you used on the lower note. So if you're playing something, let's say with the middle finger, like I just showed you in example 5, you don't have to slide with the middle finger. You can slide with the 1st finger or the 3rd or the 4th or whatever. So don't always feel like you've got to slide always with the same finger. You do not need to do that. So the third thing is to start slow at first and then build up speed over time. However, when I say start slow, I do not mean at all to practice doing the slide slowly. Don't waste your time doing that. It's not really going to help you that much. You need to get the practice doing the slide fast. Now think back to example 4 where I gave you, in the first measure, I gave you 2 pitches, the low A and the high A, and they were a half note apart. So you're sitting here for 2 beats and then here for 2 beats. But what we did was, once it was time to make the slide motion, that slide, the actual slide motion, occurs quickly. So you got 1, 2, and then slide up there, okay? Same thing in reverse. So you can give yourself a lot of time in between the notes, but the slide motion you should practice fast. The next thing is to practice all of this stuff for 3 or 4 minutes, 3 times a day, and that's it. You don't need to spend lots of time doing this all at once. You don't need to practice for an hour or even a half an hour or even 10 minutes at one time. All right. In fact, if you're new to this, you won't even be able to, because this is going to rip up your fingertips pretty brutally. All right. So just, through 3-4 minutes, and you'll feel it in your fingertips, because this is really hard on your fingertips if you don't have very strong calluses on your fingertips by doing a lot of string bends and vibrato and stuff like that. All right. And over time, the calluses on your fingers will be stronger and built up. They'll be really hard. Okay. Now, if you play your guitar a lot, you might think, oh, I play my guitar all the time. I've got really solid, strong calluses. Well, not like this, you don't. Okay. If you're like playing scales and arpeggios and chords and stuff like that, you do have calluses, but they're not going to be strong enough to endure the brutality that you're going to be torturing your fingertips through unless you do a lot of string bends and a lot of heavy vibrato and a lot of big super slides. The calluses you have on your fingers they're still useful, they're just different. Okay, so we want to build up calluses that are thicker and stronger, harder essentially, so that you can practice this for longer periods of time without feeling like your fingertips are going to fall off or start bleeding. Let me know in the comments section what other topics you would like me to make new videos on. I do this all the time. I actually read all the comments, okay, that you guys are writing, and I've made many new videos already based on those comments, and I'll make many more based on requests that you all have. Now, if you like this video, subscribe to this channel and hit that like button and the little subscribe bell so that YouTube notifies you when I publish a new video. If you like my videos on YouTube, you will love my personalized guitar lessons. I'm going to show you exactly how to transform your guitar playing from just being okay to being really awesome, even if you feel stuck right now or are having some self-doubts about yourself as a player. Now imagine just how much better your guitar playing will become when you know exactly what to do and exactly how to practice, and you know the order in which to do things. And you have the guidance and roadmap to get you there. I've done this for literally thousands of people over the years, people from all over the world, and if you do the work, if you practice at least 30 minutes a day, like real practice, I'm absolutely certain you can become the guitar player you want to be. Unlike other lessons online, you won't just get some generic cookie cutter lessons from me. This is not a course or a book or something that you buy. It's me teaching you exactly what you need to learn. You get your lessons customized to you, to who you are, what your goals are, your challenges, your strengths, your weaknesses, your learning style, experience, frustrations, and most importantly, who you want to become as a guitar player. So check out my breakthrough guitar lessons at tomhess.net/guitar and see if they're right for you. I'll see you on the other side.